All right, today we're going to be talking about holistic marketing. What is it? More than just marketing, diving into some good strategies, how you're going to apply this to your company, some very simple practical tips at the end of this. But we're going to dive into really what holistic marketing is. And this is really where I see the trend going towards in 2026. With AI really coming out, it makes it easier than ever to really start applying these holistic marketing ideas. And we've actually been seeing these trends for the past couple of years, mostly with larger companies, but we're starting to see them more in these small local businesses, just with how the market's trying to go. So let's just dive into, first of all, what is holistic marketing? What is it? Why is it important? What kind of concepts do we have when we dive into it? So what is it? It comes from the man by the name of Regis McKenna, who is the PR guru of Silicon Valley. He is the person that really was the one that started the whole entire idea of Apple, really building in this whole entire market for it, and really has just gone from tech company to tech company, boosting their PR, just helping them establish what marketing is. And he came up with this idea that marketing is everything, and everything is marketing. Really, we're going to dive into this super specifically here about what he means by everything, and what does he mean by this in terms of your organization, and how does this all play together. So his first big idea with this is that it is comprehensive and integrated. So that means that all functions of your organization, big, small, from operations to sales, they all need to be consistent. They all need to be cohesive. They all contribute to a positive brand experience with the customer or client. It doesn't matter really where you fall in the market, but all of these systems need to work together, kind of like the Avengers for the good. They need to work together to start building off of each other. And then you need to build these systems so that way they all integrate with each other. So that way you're not looking at your spreadsheets wondering what your financials are. That all contributes to marketing. That all contributes to what you can spend on marketing. That all contributes to what is going to be your culture of your company. And good culture contributes to good marketing. So let's really dive into specifically the 4 pillars that all of this is built upon. The first one is integrated. All channels of communication are coordinated and consistent. That means across all mediums. So whether that's your website, your social media, your personal interactions, everything is cohesive. Everything is consistent. Your brand identity, your brand image, your colors, everything people are able to look at and say, hey, this is such and such brand. This is the something brand. You can really see this exude out in like Target and some of these bigger companies out there. You see that all of their channels of marketing are very consistent. Everything means the same. The second big thing is internal. Employees are the first customers, and their satisfaction, knowledge, and belief is critical of your company, of your culture, of what's going to be going. So we need to start broadcasting to your employees. And even if you're just a person of one, this becomes a critical pillar for you, because you get to set that foundation in stone. You get to start, when you start hiring people, you get to start building their belief, building their satisfaction, helping them get their knowledge, and help them believe in what you're doing. The third thing is the relationship marketing. Now, we've heard of relationship marketing a lot. It's been gaining more and more success in the recent years, and we've seen a big trend of it. And people always talk about it's not just the sale. We got to build lasting relationships. Well, this is a key pillar to actually the holistic approach to marketing. Really build that long-term relationship. Don't just have a one-time sale. Don't just look at your people as a number. Actually look to them as trying to figure out how we can really establish a good relationship, even if that doesn't equate to a sale. How do we actually build this relationship that's going to help all the stakeholders and cultivate this culture of loyalty, helping people retain as opposed to trying to get more and more sales. The fourth thing is a societal. What are the broader implications of your organization impact on society? Is it doing good for all? Really think to yourself, are you contributing to the success of everybody? And now this can be from lawn care technicians all the way to people who are working on cancer research. Are you ethically inclined to doing the right thing? Is this actually impacting the society for the good? And I would even say a relative good in today's society. Is this really impacting people for the betterment of the people people around you. That's what's going to lead to bigger impacts of your life. And what you'll find is all of these really coordinate together when you start looking at holistic marketing. You need to have an integrated internal relationship and societal channels all ready to lock and load, so that way we're going to be pushing out the best and most successful content to really preach out your culture of your company. When you have all your systems integrated, you're going to be able to throw that content out very quickly. You're going to be able to tell people what's going on in your company very quickly. When you're internal, your employees are going to start spreading the word. They're going to start telling people what's going on in your company without you even having to raise a finger. When you build these relationships, people are going to naturally be inclined to ask what's going on, and they want to start hearing more about your business because they know it's not just about the sales to you. It's just about how do you build these relationships. And the fourth thing is the societal side. When that really starts playing into it, now we start looking at a bigger impact that your company has. So let's dive into the second point that Regis had, and that is that it's market driven. So instead of just pushing a product or service and you need to obsess on understanding what your customers and clients' needs are and build solutions for them. I oftentimes refer to this as building the bridge in front of you. You don't really know what you need to build yet, but as you start releasing things, as you start listening to your clients, as you create that feedback loop, what's going to help people, what you're going to understand is, oh, this is what my customers need. This is what my clients are looking for. I can build that. I can integrate that into my system. And that happens by being market driven. That doesn't happen by being passive or, passive about the market. It's by being proactive, figuring out what are your next steps and figuring out how are you going to do them. So let's dive in specifically to understand what are the principles of being market driven marketing, because this is an important little sidestep from the holistic marketing approach. The first thing is you need to own the market. And what I mean by that is you literally need to own the market. You need to make it every single day you're waking up and learning about. Your news feeds are going to be filled with it. Your mind needs to be circulating around it. We as humans actually filter about 90% of the world around us. So we need to set our focus on something that's going to help us own that market, help us understand what's going on with our clients, what's going on in the industry in and of itself, and then also as a micro level, what's going on in the local around us, what's happening in the day-to-day. Are there unstable politics? Are there different trends that we need to hop on that are going in our current market? The second principle is that markets are made. So contrary to belief, like people think that there's just markets out there, but really what you need to do is you need to make your own market. And what I mean by that is, let's go back to that lawn care example, is there are tons of lawn care companies out there in this broad scope of landscaping or in this broad scope of lawn care in specific, but you really start making your market when you start learning how specific you can get. Maybe you are a lawn care company that also takes care of weeds while cutting the grass. Those are really where your markets are made, are in the niches, are in how specific can you get with your service and how specific can you get with your business to help the customers as a whole. How do you actually help them? And then the third thing in that is the real-time response. Being market-driven means, like I was saying a little bit before, you need to be proactive. You need to be watching your market. You need to understand the trends. You need to say, hey, this is what's going well in the market. Hey, this is what's going so hot. How do we make adjustments? How do we make improvements so that way we can continue to stay relevant and continue to increase? I think to myself, the best example of this is looking to TikTok or looking to Facebook Reels or whatever you watch short form video content on, really, and seeing the trends. You see those constant trends going on. You'll see these influencers all jump on the same trend. This is them in real-time response to a market-driven marketing. They're understanding where their market is at and trying to figure out how can they apply those concepts to themselves to make themselves more engaging, more marketable in of a whole. So those principles of market-driven marketing all contribute to the four previous principles of holistic marketing, which are integrated, internal, relationship, and societal. And that's really what holistic marketing is, and really why it becomes important, because now it starts allowing us to look at our company as a whole as opposed to just specific marketing category. We see that marketing is more of just an outpour of your company's culture to people around you. How are people going to hear you? How are people going to see you? What's going on? These are all facets of marketing. And let's get super specific here and let's dive into some numbers about holistic marketing and some of the companies that have tried it out, and let's see what the averages are across the board here. So first, diving into it, companies have seen 3.5 times more visibility when they practice this holistic marketing approach, that their content's getting viewed more times, that they're getting more interactions with people, that people are actually relating to them more, about 3.5 times. It's about 3 to 4 times more than what a company that's not doing it. Also with that, 81% of customers need to trust the brand that they buy from. So when you're consistent across your marketing platforms, when your employees are reinforcing their beliefs that they have in you, when you're building relationships and focused on the society impact, all of a sudden credibility just naturally comes with it. People start to trust you. People start to trust your brand, start to trust your identity, because you are just consistent across the platform. You are doing what you are saying. With that too, 86% of buyers will pay more for a customer experience. So by making marketing a part of your entire approach, what you're actually doing is you're creating a holistic customer experience for someone. You're not just saying, hey, come play mini golf. You're saying, hey, come play mini golf in the dark with glow sticks that everything lights up. People are engaging into what is experiential to them, what is actually going to benefit them. They don't just want a stale product or something that's going to fix their need, but they actually want an experience for the most part. Unless it's consumer good, people really just want to understand, really want to feel important. They want to feel something. They want to go out and move. In society nowadays, we're seeing a trend more and more of what's going to be the experience, the unboxing experience, what's going to be the website experience. And 86% of buyers are actually going to pay more if we just deliver a little bit more of an experience for them. With that as well, we've seen companies that have about 20% more revenue when they practice a holistic marketing approach and just staying consistent. They're looking to get 20% more across the board for both their customers that they have. And so that's not saying more customers, that's saying more revenue. So oftentimes people are doing more with less customers, and we'll talk about that in a second here. But let's even look towards a practical case study here. Now, I'm a pretty big coffee drinker, and what I'm going to say here, I've just noticed in society as I've seen it just driving around. I've seen it here in Greenville in the upstate of South Carolina, and I've also seen it just across the nation really take a hold of us. And what I'm going to bring to attention here is 7 Brew Coffee. If you haven't heard of them, I would suggest looking them up. They're growing, and we're going to dive into those numbers in just a little bit. But let's kind of look at their identity. I'm going to show you 3 pictures here, and you're probably going to understand what their brand identity is without me even saying it. They're really engaged towards that younger crowd, and what they found is by engaging that younger crowd, you're going to naturally start pulling in the older crowd. You're going to start pulling in the people that are looking for an experience. When you go to a 7 Brew, it is very much an experience thing. Loud music, a younger crowd, kind of all involved. The energy is high there. Everything is very quick. Everything is very rapid. You're ordering basically like in 2 seconds from the time you get there, right off your phone. The menus are all mobile, very, very low cost. But what you're actually seeing there is that it's very market driven. They're understanding that the consumer of coffee nowadays is actually going towards a younger crowd. They're able to deliver more of these dessert-like coffees at a higher margin towards this younger crowd. You can look over on their Instagram feed over there and really see how they do this. They really cultivate this culture of community by including different employees from different locations. They're including people in this whole entire world that they're creating. And then even at their website, you can see that's actually a video that plays up there, but it's really people enjoying their coffee and having that young, youthful spirit. You start to see that just identified throughout the whole entire brand of just being consistent and being quick. So let's see what specific impact that this has had on them as a company. So first, let's look at the number of locations. In 2021, they had roughly about 14 locations, and in 2025, they're trying to get to about 400 locations. So that culture has really boosted the ability for people who want to franchise. They want to latch onto that culture. They see how profitable, they see the energy that this company is really delivering, and they say, hey, I want a piece of that. I want to really help with that. How can I get involved is really what these investors are saying. We also see that there's a huge increase in the company revenue in the millions. They went to about 14 million, and now they're hitting close to about 100 million in the past 4 years. They're projected to get over 100 million this year, and they're really on track to be $1 billion company by the end of 2026, which is just absolutely crazy numbers. A lot of their revenue this year has actually gone into rebuilding stores, to building more and more stores. So this number is even a little bit underplayed here with what they're actually making per store and per capita. So what we see through that whole entire brand experience is that we're actually pulling more customers, but we're actually pulling more shareholders. We're pulling more stakeholders to come and be a part of the whole entire organization as a whole, which drives the whole entire world of success. Being holistic helps you build a community. That's really what it does. It helps you build this whole community to really drive impact for your company. So let's get super practical for a second. So we're switching a little bit from what it is and understanding why it's important, and let's get super practical here. I'm going to bring in one of my favorite authors to explain how to do it here. He goes by Seth Godin. He is a marketing Hall of Famer. If you have not heard about him, I highly suggest reading any one of his books. They're fantastic to help contribute to your understanding of how the market works, and then also understanding how you can improve your company in really practical, small ways. We're going to pull a little bit from his books today, and then we're also going to dive into some own concepts, kind of the merge of Regis and Seth here to understand it. But diving into how do you do it, Seth really comes up with this whole entire idea of if you are not remarkable, you are invisible. And what he means by that is remarkability is really what drives success. And being remarkable means people talk about you. People want to understand who you are. So let's dive into how do you actually do this? How do you become remarkable? And they're going to be really simplified steps. And how do you pull yourself out of this world of being invisible? The first thing that you need to do is you need to define your purple cow. Now, a lot of people, when I say this, they go, what the heck, Johnny, is a purple cow? And I like to dive into, if you're in a field of black and white cows, a purple cow is going to be something that you're going to want to talk about to your friends. You're going to tell everyone in the car when you're driving by, you say, hey, did you see that purple cow? That's exactly what it is for your business. Is it what's worth having a conversation about? What makes your company something that people want to talk about and people want to build on? What makes people say, hey, this is something unique about this company that no one else is doing? That's really where your purple cow comes in. It's by taking your company to the absolute edge of whatever you are doing, figuring out new spins. One company that does this really well is actually American Express, and how they do their credit cards. There's hundreds of credit card companies nowadays, all offering about the same amount of benefits. But really the club that comes with American Express really drives people to be a part of them. Their partnership with Delta to deliver highest sky miles and deliver a higher amount of rewards because you're a part of their club is really a purple cow kind of atmosphere. It helps people understand, helps people want to talk about your company, recommend you to other people because you are unique, you are remarkable, you're worthy of talking about. People want meaningful conversation, so put meaning in their conversation. Number 2 is you need to find your smallest viable audience, and that's all about focusing on the right customers. And going back to the relationship aspect of holistic marketing, you want to really dive into, is this going to be a good fit? You don't want to just find more and more clients. You actually want to find, hey, what's going to be the best clients? Because what this will allow you to do is have the highest profitability with the lowest amount of clients and prospects and customers you're trying to manage. This is going to lead to a higher impact of what you're able to do because you're able to spend more on other activities such as improving systems or improving your marketing or consistently just building that audience. When you're highly profitable, what you're actually going to find is that usually a smaller audience contributes to a higher profitability and allows you to have some higher success across the board. The third thing that you need to do is you need to make it your organization's culture. You need to empower your employees to be the purebred brand ambassadors. What I mean by that is you need to do everything you can to tell your employees, like, this is what our company culture is, and just make them on fire for that. Make them on fire for that, whether that is supporting them in their day-to-day activities or helping them actually understand, really where your culture is. It's about educating. It's about providing for them, about how can you improve their experience about your company to make them really be the brand ambassadors, help them really build those relationships outside of your company that are all related back to your organization. And if you're just a company of 1 or 2 right now, this becomes even ultra important, because when you're just those small companies, you really set the tone. You really deliver on that. So as you start adding more and more employees, what you do now is what you're going to do in 5 years from now when you have 50 employees, or what you're going to do in 2 years from now when you have 10 employees. Those are all things that you need to do to really lock in and say, hey, let's figure out how we can really make our company culture all related to our brand, all related to our goals as a company here. The fourth thing that you need to do is you need to build relationships, not just sales. For me, this usually happens over coffee. It can happen over a drink, it can happen over dinner, it can happen over really anything, even a conversation, a networking event. You really want to focus on how are we going to build a real relationship, and don't just focus on an exchange of services and products, but focus on like, oh wow, this person is great. How do I build this connection? How do I build this flywheel of people that I am able to refer people to? How am I able to connect? How am I able to show them what my brand is and help understand what their brand is? Really focus on building a relationship as opposed to a one-time sale. This is going to help improve your return on investment per client, but this is also going to help go back to the smallest viable audience. This is also going to make you more profitable as a whole, because you're going to be finding the right fit for your company, not just someone who's going to buy from you once and then complain the rest of the time. The fifth thing that you really need to dive in to is unifying the customer experience. Audit all your customer touch points. Do they align with your brand objectives is always the question that I ask myself. Is my website really looking how it needs to be? Is it helping people understand what am I trying to do? What are my goals? When I go talk to someone, can they understand that when they look at my social media? Really, how do people feel about me? What's their sentiment across the board? What's my customer experience when someone comes into the pipeline? Is it good sentiment? Is it bad sentiment? All of these things really need to focus on your brand objective. What are you trying to do? What are your goals in your company? Are you trying to be the biggest soap seller? How are you going to help people feel squeaky clean throughout their entire sales journey with you? Make that experience inclusive. Include all types of people in that. That's really how you do it. But now that sounds super complicated. We need to dive into like what specifically is needed to that, because that's enough right there to make anyone head spin as you're just trying to keep track of what to do next. So let's dive into what tools can practically be used to really help be successful in this holistic marketing approach. First, a content relationship management, or CRM. Some people call it customer relationship management. It doesn't really matter, potato here, but really just a software to help you organize your clients and customers, just see what's going on, whether this is to track their birthdays or their favorite food or their favorite color, just ways that you can really help engage to help deliver a higher experience for your clients is just huge. Just being able to show up to a meeting and say, hey, I know exactly what we're talking about today. Hey, I know exactly that such and such happened because of the last time we talked. This type of software becomes very, very important to just understanding people. If you're looking for one of these, like, feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to help you get set up with one. I believe that every single organization, big and small, should have this. Whether you're an organization of 1 or 1,000, you should really have this helping you manage what's going on in your day-to-day. The second thing that you really need to look into is proper data architecture. And that's a lot of big words from someone who loves to look at data all the time. But that's just really structuring your organization's information and processes so that way you can deliver holistic marketing. Because if everything is just all over the place, you're going to be like, oh, wow, what do we do here? What do we do in this situation? How do we get these posts to be consistent? What kind of branding, what kind of methodology do we need to do here? By having structured data, you're actually going to look at that and you're going to say, all right, this is what we did last year for this event. This is how we can improve it this year. That all starts with building out your architecture to deliver some good holistic marketing. The third thing is competitor research. Now I know that I said that markets are made, they're not just there, but you understand when you do competitors, you start to understand your broadband market. You understand that if you are in lawn care, you understand what all of your lawn care companies in your location, in your region are actually doing. It helps you understand how to build a market where you see need, where you see how you can push things to the edge. Doing that competitor research allows you also to see what's working for them, so you can start recreating and start getting up to par and making the same impact that they are. You can also see what doesn't work for them and learn from their mistakes, which is super, super helpful. But understanding your market allows you to create something that is truly remarkable and impactful, which is huge to see some success on your marketing side. You also need to build a content engine. Developing consistent content that's on brand is huge. It keeps your audience engaged and keeps them educated with what you are trying to do. This can be everything from just posting videos of background videos. It can be doing presentations. It can be really anything that's going to help you make content consistently and quickly. Now, this varies depending on industry to industry, what you really need to showcase in this content engine. But whether that's blog articles, whether that's podcasts, whether that's videography, all of those things kind of contribute to how do we build a consistent brand that keeps you going, that keeps people educated, that keeps people understanding what's going on in your company, how they can help, how they can get involved, what are you doing, what events do you have going on. All of this contributes to how do you build a good content engine. Lastly, the right people are of utmost importance to delivering, and you need to surround yourself with the people that are going to have this type of mentality that they're going to impact your brand from the inside out. So making sure you're surrounded with the people that are good fits for you, whether that's a good marketing company that's really locking in with what you need, whether that's a good systems company, whether that's just a good person in general that's going to help you just partner with you. Figuring out the right people, there's not really a set in stone way to do it, but this is going to be huge to delivering a good marketing approach. When you guys are both on the same track, you guys are going to find out that there's a lot more that you can do together than when you guys are going two separate ways. And when one of you is focused on this or this, being cohesive and being consistent will allow you to deliver a higher output with a lower input. So I want to end this off with just a few simple steps of let's take this whole entire presentation and take everything we learned today and just dive into some very, very specific steps for how we can make this happen today. Just 3 simple steps to start. First, audit all of your brand on all of your platforms. So look at it, what it's like in person. Look at it on social media. Look for consistency. Look for cohesiveness. Look for, is this going to actually build trust and credibility? What I like to do when I am looking at a client myself is I like to say, how do I view this as a customer of theirs? How do I view this as a client of theirs? What is the roadmap, and can I make that roadmap in my head? Do I understand what the next steps are? Do I understand what's going on? Do I understand that when I see this color, that this relates to them? When I see this logo, this relates to them. That's not flipping all over the place. So auditing your brand becomes huge, super simple to do. I mean, just take a few, like 5 minutes and just look at your social media and say, hey, this works. Hey, this doesn't work. Hey, this works. And just write on a notepad. You don't need to do anything crazy. You don't need to build a spreadsheet. Just simply look at it and see what's successful and what's not successful. The second thing you can do is generate a brand guideline and just simply create one. It doesn't need to be cohesive. It doesn't need to be big. Just something that simply says, hey, this is my something company, and this is something that we do. This is our tagline. This is our mission statement. Here are our colors with our hex codes, and just building out the bare bones of what your company needs for consistent branding. And then just continue to build off this as you grow as a company, as you understand things of this is how we social media post, this is what we do. This allows you to build that trust, build that cohesiveness. And like I said, it all contributes back to that credibility when you do what you say. So just start small. Start off with just what are your core values? What can you really do that's simple today to just generate some brand guidelines? And the third and final thing I'm going to leave you with, and possibly one of the most important, is track your processes. Write down almost all your SOPs that you can. This will allow others to replicate your decision making and create congruent experience from person to person within your organization. So that means whether they are talking to the CEO or they're talking to just a sales rep, they're able to actually get the same experience in your organization to deliver a more holistic approach. This goes back to being consistent. This goes back to being internal. This goes back to being integrated. This goes back to your society output. That when you're a holistic approach, you are looking at your processes and you're saying, hey, this is what's going to be a big benefit for me. This is what's going to be a big benefit for us. This is how we're going to make this happen. Instead of just saying, you know what, let's put out a social media post. It's being a little bit more systematic without having to dive into the systematics of how do you do it. Just figure out what your processes are and just start writing them down. You'll quickly see what areas you can improve, areas that you can make a little bit more seamless, and just start figuring out those little things. I like to use a quote, if you're 1% better every single day, you're 365% better by the end of the year, which means that you have tripled yourself and you've almost quadrupled yourself in a year. So just focus on that 1% of how you're going to improve. So that really wraps up the holistic marketing. I just really wanted to touch on that as we get towards 2026, because really where this is all going now is AI really allows us to make this more impactful and makes this really happen at light speed for a lot of these smaller companies. Where real reach strategies really comes in is by streamlining all of this approach. We really take your whole entire company and figure out what is going to be the best method. What are we going to do? Are we going to do advertisements? Are we going to do social media posts? What kind of budget are we looking at? Looking at you at a holistic approach allows us to actually make good decisions and help impact your company for the better, as opposed to just listing a prescription for you. We understand and dive down to the details of what's going on. And even just yourself, holistic marketing becomes so important because with AI, this now allows you to streamline your systems. This allows you to understand really, hey, are all these pillars? You can write down your SOPs in a matter of 5 minutes when you just kind of talk to your AI a little bit. Just dive into what can help us build a more holistic approach. If you want some help, if you want someone to come take another look, feel free to reach out. You can email me in the email below, or you can follow us on any of the social media platforms. I'm trying to do these about once a week, or once or twice a month is what I should say. And I'm hopefully going to get some guests here pretty soon, just to help facilitate and help with all of this a little bit more. If you have any questions or you really want to run anything by me, feel free to shoot me a message. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Catch you next time.